Hey, I'm Cassian. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Happy Pride Month. Not the rainbow version, not the festival version, the corporate logos, but pride as in what pride feels like to me. Because my relationship with pride is a little different than some people's. For me, pride isn't just celebrating being different. It's beauty and ugliness, it's love and hate, it's safety and danger. It's the reminder that no matter who you are, where you are, how alone you feel, community still exists. I was lucky enough to be born into a fairly accepting family. Doesn't mean everything was perfect. There was confusion and questions and anxieties and religious concerns. But at the end of the day, I was always met with love and care, even when the love and care was a little misguided sometimes. One of the most significant things anyone has ever said to me came from my grandmother. She told me, when I die and go to heaven, the first thing I'm going to do is ask God why gay people can't be happy. I know some people might hear that and focus on the parts that sound complicated and perfect and correct, but for me, that statement means everything. Because as a devoted Christian, you're taught not to question God. You're taught to trust Him, to follow Him blindly. But because she loves me, my grandmother's willing to question something she has been taught her entire life. Not only just questioning it now in her day-to-day thoughts and behaviors, but she's prepared to face God and ask Him directly. That moment is my definition of unconditional love. It's not perfect understanding, it's not perfect language, but it's love strong enough to question what has been taught. I dealt with some bullying and hate from peers, but because I had support at home, it didn't cut me as deeply as it could have. Most of the time, it amused me or annoyed me more than it wounded me. It doesn't mean it was okay. It just means I had a foundation that a lot of queer and trans people are not given. I was secure enough in who I was that other people's discomfort didn't define me. And I know how lucky that makes me. I spent the majority of my life not really facing true hatred, discrimination, bigotry. I actually experienced my first true, problematic scenario related to my queerness about a year ago. I'm not going to go into too much detail, especially not anything triggering, but essentially a woman approached me and my also very visibly queer partner and was harassing us and recording us in Walmart. I don't know, it was very chaotic, but eventually we decided to get one of the staff members at Walmart and ask them for help. They attempted to handle her quietly. She fought back. And by the end of the interaction, she was removed, and there were 20 different people checking on us. So even that situation, I was very lucky. I have not lived through most of the pain and hate that many trans people and queer people in general have to live through. But even though I was protected in a lot of ways, I've still seen what hate does. I've had friends that died by suicide because of bigotry, rejection, and shame. I've had friends that attempted to end their life after being rejected by their families. And that's part of why Pride matters so much to me. Because Pride isn't just fun. It's not just glitter and music and rainbows. For some people, it's the first place they see proof that they're not broken. It's the first place they see queer adults who survived. It's the first place they see family and friendships and elders and partners and joy and community. For some people, it's the first place they see a future for themselves. I've attended Pride every year since I was 12 years old in 2011. And every year, I see the same thing. There's hate. There are protesters. There are angry signs and people yelling things that are meant to shame us. There are moments that are uncomfortable, upsetting, and honestly sometimes disturbing. I remember seeing protesters forcing a child to hold a very inappropriate sign, and that stuck with me and probably always will. But I also remember what happened around that hate. I remember the Pansy Patrol, which, for those of you who don't know, kind of forgot where it was. I got interrupted. My bad. Haven't fully figured out the whole video editing thing yet. But I know I was talking about Pansy Patrol. But Pansy Patrol are these group of people that volunteer at multiple different types of pride events. That they have like big, beautiful wooden flowers that are on like picket sign type sticks, and they use them to like block out the hateful signs. That way people don't have to see them and read them. And I remember them blocking the hateful messages, but being kind to the little girl and giving her space, not letting her feel like trapped or surrounded by them. I remember the marching band playing music so loudly that you couldn't hear the hate. I remember a restaurant nearby blasting their music when the protesters ended up in front of them because they didn't want to hear it and they didn't want us to hear it. Because of them, the hate and fear for a lot of people just became background noise. Every year I march on the Trans March. Essentially, we go out of Piedmont Park, walk maybe 2 miles. I really don't know how far it is, but we exit Piedmont Park and walk around Midtown streets in Atlanta. Atlanta is very busy, very trafficy, very chaotic. But they shut down the roads and we do our march. We sing our songs and hold our signs and promote love and visibility, basically. And every year, hundreds of strangers cheer us on. And you know, when it's like drunk people are passing, sitting at a bar, or someone just walking down a sidewalk, like it's nice, but it's not that surprising. But what really stands out to me is that some of the people are stuck in traffic because of us. They could be annoyed, they could be angry, they could treat us like an inconvenience, but instead they cheer, they clap, they celebrate us in that moment instead of worrying about not being able to drive. That's pride to me. Pride isn't an absence of hate, it's a community being louder than hate. A lot of people see pride as a celebration of just being different, or as a party, or as something specifically to make LGBTQIA people feel special. But that's not really what pride is. And it's definitely not what pride is to me. So, you know, we all pretty much know at this point, pride started as a protest. And fortunately, we have come far enough that now it gets to be more of a party, a festival, a parade, excitement, happiness. But it's still not just a party. It's a celebration of love, community, connection, survival, visibility, and the right to exist without shame. The only people excluded for pride are people that choose to exclude themselves. Because pride isn't about saying queer people are better than anyone else. It's about saying queer people are people. It's about saying love shouldn't be treated like a threat. It's about saying identity shouldn't make someone feel unsafe. It's about saying no one should have to disappear to be tolerated. I'll be honest, I'm autistic, I have a lot of anxiety, I have a lot of trauma, whole 9 yards. Because of that, Atlanta Pride is often really overwhelming. It's loud, it's hot, it's exhausting. Sometimes it's a little boring. I'm not really a festival person. But, you know, it's definitely not my thing in the sense of the chaos, I guess. Like, it's beautiful chaos, but it's chaos. But still, I keep going every year because it helps me feel less alone. It lets me make transparent connections with people who understand parts of me without needing a full explanation. It gives me a platform for advocacy and for spreading love. It gives me a place where all my colors can show without worrying they'll become a target. And that's not a small thing. For a lot of us, being fully seen is not something we get every day. Even when pride is overstimulating, even when it's exhausting, even when I leave feeling drained and exhausted and I'm dragging my feet the last mile back to the train station, I still leave reminded that I'm not alone. So when I say happy Pride, I don't mean happy Rainbow Month. I mean, I hope you have somewhere you feel safe. I hope you have people who love you, even if they're still learning. I hope you get to experience community that's louder than hate. I hope you know you're not broken. I hope you know there's a future for you. And I hope you know that pride is not about being proud because everything was easy. Sometimes pride is about refusing to be ashamed of what you've had to survive. Pride is beauty and ugliness. It is love and hate. It is safety and danger, and it's proof that none of us have to be alone. I want to know what Pride Month means to you, because I'm only one person, and it's different for everyone. And everyone has, different views on who should celebrate, who should attend. People have different experiences, different stories. Even if you're someone that shows up to Pride to protest, I want to know your experience and I want to know what it's like for you. I look forward to seeing your comments. But until then, take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.